So, Les, tell me, how did you know you had depression?
Well, Dalma, I was working overseas in a rather difficult country context. I won't name the country, but I was very much overworked, didn't have enough staff, had a lot of expectation placed upon me, and I just began to crumple and see the bad side of everything, and I realised I needed to get help. I didn't know what it was. I hadn't come across depression before, but I wasn't able to maintain relationships on the level I wanted to. I was getting short with my temper and things were just going crazy, and I wasn't able to solve them because I'm a very task-oriented person who wants to solve stuff, so I needed help.
So what about your family, Les? What effect did the depression have on your wife and maybe even your children?
It's interesting, I didn't realise it at the time, but because I was so busy and finding fault with everything, I just didn't spend time with my wife. And I had two boys there as well, both teenagers. And they said to me one day, "Dad, you're not much fun to be with because we don't see you." And my wife agreed. And I said, "Whoa, something needs to give here."
Yeah.
And so that was the thing that really stood out for me. And I realised that help wasn't available where I was. But I actually admitted myself to a local hospital. And that just phased everybody out. They just didn't know what was going on.
Okay, wow. So what happened after you admitted yourself into hospital?
Well, my employer was very good actually, but they didn't have a clue what was going on because somebody who's depressed just looks blank. But anyway, the long story of it, short story is I was brought home to Australia with my wife and kids, and I went to a health farm for a little while and saw a psychiatrist and all these scary things I'd never done before, and realised that, hey, I'm going to beat this. And so I began researching myself what to do.
So Les, what strategies did you put in place?
Yeah, I had to accept that going on medication, and for a long time, was a likely possibility. And I did, in fact, and that's so necessary because I needed that to get me stabilised. But when I sorted that out, I really had to get on to the other things like correct nutrition and proper exercise, because one of the side effects was putting on weight. And I also needed to look at relationships. Now, this is one that's often missed, but if you're carrying resentment and unforgiveness, you've got to sort it out. You've got to start talking to people more, and so that was so important. The other one was looking at my life purpose, like what am I here for? Am I here to just be part of the rat race? Okay. And I thought it was a lot more than that. Another strategy was working out who I was, and if I was a dad, I should spend more time with my kids and not at work. Who needs 80 hours a week work?
Yeah.
And another strategy was, I guess, looking at building some margin into my life and not working all the time. So there's a whole bunch of strategies there which I began to implement over time, but it was only possible because I got on the right medication and even changed it a couple of times, and I really delved into this myself. I didn't just leave it to others, and I felt that was quite important.
So your experience has allowed you as a life coach to help other people?
Yes, with me breaking through this barrier, I felt I really had to do something to help others because guys just don't get help in this area. So now our organisation runs these groups we call it resilience groups or Hope Beyond Depression, right across Australia, and people can do surveys and attend forums, and we talk to them online and teleconference calls, and that level of support along with the medication seems to bring many people out of depression and keep them out of depression.
A community that they can actually talk with.
It's a community of professionals for professionals and those they refer, and we have found this is the way which works where nothing else works as well.
Sounds fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you, Les. Really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.